Okay, so this is something that was kind of unexpected, but it seems like we're going to get a remake or a remastered version of one of the older Mario games that came out back in the 2000s. Is Mario versus Donkey Kong, and I think it came out during the Game Boy Advance era because it came out back in 2004, and yeah, basically we're supposed to be getting a remastered version of that game 20 years later. And the trailer for the game was, I mean, like the gameplay looked nice, the graphics looked nice. If you look at what we got in the trailer for this compared to how the graphics for Game Boy Advance look, this is like 10 times better. And I think it's something that's going to get people more emotionally invested in purchasing this game because I feel like this game flew under the radar during the 2000s decade because I didn't really like I think this is like my first time really hearing about this game because back in 2004 during the mid 2000s, I was mainly into the Mario Advance series because that was the thing that was selling on the Game Boy Advance for the most part. If it wasn't anything Mario related, it was Pokemon that was the main titles that were selling on the Game Boy Advance during that time period. But you look at this game and it's kind of like it kind of reminds me of the original Donkey Kong game from the early 80s during the arcade days where basically Donkey Kong is like the main antagonist and Mario had to go rescue the princess, not Peach, but I believe it was Pauline. He had to rescue her. But except in this game, you're not rescuing a princess. Um, you're trying to get back the toys that Donkey Kong has stolen from Mario. And I don't know. I think the plot in of itself is kind of absurd because why would a giant, gorilla want to steal toys from a plumber? It's kind of weird and kind of whatever, but I don't know, it is what it is. And seeing Donkey Kong as a boss in a Mario game is something that's like very rare nowadays. You don't really see that anymore. And this came out back in like the 2000s. So like even then, like Bowser was always the reoccurring main antagonist in the Mario series. And the reason why, or at least one of the reasons why, is because Bowser is obviously more popular than Donkey Kong is in terms of being a villain. Because every time Bowser's like the main villain of a Mario game, Mario seems to sell more. Even though Donkey Kong was an interesting villain for a short period of time in the Mario series, a lot of people really didn't care about that, and they preferred having Donkey Kong as, I guess, the main character of his own series. And like even like right now, we're still waiting for our brand new Donkey Kong game, which we have no idea when it's going to come out. It's been like I think the last major Donkey Kong game came out back in 2014, which is like Tropical Freeze, which was on the Wii U. But yeah, I mean, it's cool seeing that Nintendo is doing something with Donkey Kong, especially after the release of the Mario movie back in April, where there was a part in the movie where Mario and Donkey Kong faced off, and there was like there was a ton of like slapstick and Super Smash Brothers references and all that stuff in that game. Those references from various video games or various Mario games in the Mario Brothers movie. But we did get to see the face off between Mario and Donkey Kong. And I guess that brought back some memories. Nintendo probably looked at it and said, hey, you know what? Maybe like this would be a good time to, remake, an older Mario, Donkey Kong game. And I think, it is, considering the timing and considering what we got in the movie and all that stuff. But the thing about this game, Mario versus Donkey Kong, is that it's not your typical platformer game. It's more of a strategy based, like puzzle platform type of game where you have to do certain things um, get past certain obstacles in the game, and you have to really like use all the techniques that Mario has in order to maneuver past certain levels within the game. And one of the cool updates that Mario versus Donkey Kong, remastered is going to have that the original game I don't think had back in 2004 was co-op gameplay. Um, but the thing is, like co-op gameplay for the most part is something that I don't know. It wasn't really a thing back in the 2000s or anything like that. But like I feel like co-op like 2D platform gameplay didn't really start to become a thing until like the new Super Mario Brothers like series got started and all that stuff. But for the most part, I do feel that co-op gameplay can only help the quality of Mario versus Donkey Kong, remake. And I do feel that in 2024, this is going to be a big attraction for Nintendo because, for the most part, a lot of people haven't really heard of this game or even played this game. And based on what we know, it's supposed to be coming out, I believe, on the 16th of February in 2024. So I do feel that's going to be one of the big attractions for the Switch console. I don't see it selling more than the Mario Brothers Wonder game because Mario Brothers Wonder, um, it just looks more appealing, and it's something that I feel is going to sell more in general because it's coming out right before the holiday season, and it's probably gonna have like at least like 3 or 4 mil in sales over Mario versus Donkey Kong by the time that particular game comes out. But we'll just have to wait and see. But Mario versus Donkey Kong getting remastered and re-released for the Switch console is something that a lot of people didn't see coming. And maybe this time around, it'll probably get the kind of exposure that it didn't get back in the 2000s.